Diego State loss, you talked about the grind was coming up with the schedule, and here you guys are 5-0. You know, Oklahoma made a run, Iowa State, Oklahoma State, and now tonight Baylor. And you guys just find ways to get it done. Are you surprised?
No, I'm not surprised. I'm surprised that, you know, I honestly think you should win at home. You got good players, and we didn't do that against San Diego State, but and that didn't mean you're always going to do it. But crowd was great again tonight and gave us energy, and they you know, played unbelievable the first half shooting the ball. That's as well as anybody probably shot it all year long, except for Creighton tonight against Nova. But you know, I think they're two bigs that have combined to make 5 threes on the year, and they make, you know, they go 4 for 4 the first half, and then we didn't guard Hayslip. So, but they did some good things. They were 2 of 18 inside the arc and 8 of 10 from beyond the arc the first half, and then the second half, our first shot defense was really good. You know, I mean, they had 11 points with 7:35 left in the game, second half. But in the points, the way they scored was off second shots, and then of course Gathers and the guys, they beat us bad. I mean, just annihilated us on the glass late. But we did some good things. We did some things not very good. But I think we're kind of a tired team. That's 5 games in 12 days against good competition. I think we're a little fatigued.
How's their zone frustrate in the first half?
Well, you know what? We really shouldn't. I'd say it frustrated some because we didn't do what we had prepared to do, like I thought we would. But length and different things make a difference in practice. But you know, you score 37 points at home, that's plenty in a half. So it's the fact that they scored 35 that was disappointing to me. Not our offense as much as our inability to get stops. You know, I thought we did actually a decent job second half of getting the ball to Perry or getting the ball to our bigs inside.
Bill, what did you think of Joel's temperament tonight? And were you working with him at all? It just seemed like he took some shots and really just walked away and was very comfortable.
Yeah, I think there's been much to do about nothing with him. He had the bad play against K-State, and since then his temperament hasn't been bad. I mean, guys foul, and you know, he has a tendency sometimes to flail his arms. You know, that's what happened against Okie State one time. After he got fouled, he flailed his arms. But I think his temperament's just the way it needs to be.
And you think it's been that way for a few weeks now?
Yeah, he's been fine. He had the one bad play, but other than that, his temperament's been good.
Perry's second half.
Yeah, you know, Perry and Wiggs were, you know, first half, amazing, you know, when your 2 leading scorers don't do much, and you've got a lead at halftime when they make 8 threes, and then the second half, those 2 played pretty well. So I thought Perry was really good the second half. I thought Andrew was also.
What did you think when you saw Wayne flying out of bounds on that?
I don't know. I didn't. I thought it was a great hustle play. I thought the ball was off them, though, and then I think, what is he doing? And then it ended up being one of the better hustle plays of the night, though, without question.
How important was it for defense and hustle to kind of key that run? I think it was a 14-2 run, and that was part of it.
Was that right during that stretch?
Yeah.
I'm watching it right there on TV. Ooh, it may have been out of bounds.
He was.
No, from this angle, it looked good to me. Yeah, I thought that, you know, even though our defense wasn't great tonight, our first shot defense was fine, but I thought it was nice to have, you know, energy key in our run there, and because we had so many opportunities. You know, it's in for the glass. If we can secure the defensive board, we could have had numbers many times, but we just weren't able to secure.
Did you challenge Perry and Wiggins at half big time?
Yeah. Well, I do all the time, but it's becoming too common. But yeah, without question, yeah, we try to get them fired up at halftime.
So sometimes you talk about not playing your best, those games where you don't play your best, but you can still win. Is that one of those tonight, you think?
I don't want to take anything away from Baylor because you know they made shots, but you know, you give up 13 threes at home, which shouldn't happen, and they out rebound you, you know, on the offensive glass like they did, which shouldn't happen. We had how many unforced turnovers, you know, which shouldn't happen. I mean, one-hand catches, things like that. But you know, I would say tonight wasn't our best performance, but you know, a lot of times you can play well, miss free throws and lose, and sometimes you can play poorly and make free throws and win. And, you know, you go 26 to 29 from the free throw line, that's part of playing well, and certainly, you know, we did that tonight. That was probably the difference in the game.
Bill Perry might have had the second best hustle play when he made the steal and got the dunk and the three-point play. That seemed to, the game was still kind of, you know, it was a
Yeah.
close game, but that seemed to kind of break things loose.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact, it was 40,
I think you guys were-
43, 39, something like that, or 44, 42, or something like that, and then we went on that little run you were talking about, and I think that was one of the key plays to spur it. And he needed something good to happen, because he'd been laboring.
Bill, more of a big picture question. I've been reading a lot of people criticizing Andrew Wiggins' performance up to their expectations. I'm curious, how has he lived up to your expectations so far this year?
I'd say that you know, first of all, it's, you know, to me, the way that the recruiting services, and you watch the games all day, you know, today on ESPNU, and how they're pumping kids up, and if a kid has a good game, you know, they're comparing him to Amari, and they're comparing him to this or that, and we had a couple of kids that had good games today, and it's just a different world that these kids are entering school with the hype, and I think that in a lot of ways he's handled it beautifully in how he's deflected it. But I think in some ways he hasn't understood, or maybe we haven't done a great job of explaining to him that because of the society and the media hype and everything that we live in and the attention that you're getting, if you don't produce, then you're going to be the most talked about person. If you do produce, it's going to be expected. So it's basically, it's a no-win, you know, everything to lose type perspective from his standpoint coming in, because there's no way he could have lived up to the hype. And I think he's, you know, I think if you look across America, I would say that Ben McLemore had a heck of a freshman year last year, and his stats are the same as Andrews. And you know, a kid averages 16 and 6 or whatever, and you know, if he made layups or, you know, hang on to a couple of balls, it could easily be 18 or 19 or 20 he'd be averaging. And I think he's done well. I think that there's another step he can take. He leaves me wanting more. So when people say certain things, I can't be upset because they're saying them, because he leaves me wanting more too. But I also think this, he's also playing on the perimeter, he's playing a guard, he's never played guard before. There's so many things that's going into it that I think is maybe allowed him probably not to be as comfortable as what a lot of people would expect him to immediately be. But I think he's done well. I think all our kids have done well. We played a monster schedule, and with our schedule, you haven't had a chance to play bad and win. And there's been pressure on him every game and this and that. And I think that he could. He's so naive in so many ways. I don't know that he thinks about that he's everybody's Super Bowl when they get a chance to play against him. And I don't know if he feels that. And we tell him that, but I don't know if he feels that yet. But I think he's done pretty well. But I do think there's another step he can take.
Bill, you guys are 5-0. I think 4th time in the last 5 years you've gotten off to that kind of start. I know you said Saturday is just the second inning, but so is this the 3rd inning now?
We'll see, 5 out of 18.
Right.
Yeah, we're probably the bottom of the, top of the 3rd.
But
So-
5-0 is still pretty significant when everybody else has got a loss.
Yeah, I think it is, but we've also played 3 at home too. And so, and we're going to a place on Saturday that obviously we didn't experience any success last year down in Fort Worth. But I like where we're at. And considering after the San Diego State game, losing at home, and then to flip it and play 2 days later against, or 3 days later against Oklahoma and kind of get it turned, I think our guys have showed some toughness and definitely have played better the last 5 games than probably have over a 5-game stretch all year long.
Did you get an update on Tarek? And
He just turned his ankle.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know you could hurt him, but he should be fine. He should be fine.
Coach, how have you seen Ellis improve from last year, and how important is he going to be down the stretch? As one of the few sophomores you have out there.
Yeah, it's pretty, well, I don't know if sad's the right word, but it's whenever you look to Perry as like your experienced leader, And, you know, he was our 8th man last year and played 13 minutes a game. So he's very important. He's very important. He's improved in a lot of ways, but obviously consistency of late has not been there. He's been really good, or maybe he hasn't been as good. But certainly, I think he's a terrific player, and he's going to be very important to us down the stretch.
Anything else?
Bill, how significant is it to beat 4 ranked teams in a row? I mean, that doesn't happen every day.
It happened in '97, I was told. Chris Tyson told me it happened in 1997. This was the last time it's happened. And it was Carolina.
I knew that.
But you didn't know that? Good for you. But I was hoping I'd really give you something that maybe you hadn't thought about yet. But you know, you know, 3 of the games of our wins are at home, and I think it's a nice accomplishment, but it doesn't mean anything. It's just the way the schedule fell. So certainly, you know, TCU's not ranked. But that may be as hard a game as we played so far, you know, based on how we played down there last year.
Thanks, Coach.